23rd of February 2023, here at Little Bay Boat Ramp, Nelson Bay. Just preparing to head out to Broughton Island and hopefully on to Seal Rocks today. The wind's expected to be southeast, 15 to 20 knots. It feels like it's every bit of that at the moment. The ramp itself looks pretty good. Sometimes you get a bit of swell in here, which can make it hard to launch and retrieve. But today it's good, being a southeaster, the breeze is offshore. Not a lot of people around because it's a Friday morning, and we'll get out there before the crowds arrive. Okay, it's 11:50, almost midday. We're heading out at this stage just for Broughton, and then I'll assess out there whether we get to go on any further to Seal Rocks. There's some rain squalls coming through. We'll see how dark it gets as well. It'll probably get dark early today, so I want to be there by at least sort of 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, even though it's daylight savings. Started off with a reef in the main. I've set up my spinnaker sheet as a preventer and also to help the boom vang, to take the load off the boom vang. We've got one reef in. My reef's really deep. It's probably like a second reef on a yacht. I've got my standard headsail, which I can easily drop with my haul down line, which runs up through the hanks, comes down through a block on the foredeck and back to the cabin top. Got all my gear on, got my wetsuit, booties, gloves, life vest, even a rope around my waist today. As I'm by myself, yeah, just as a little extra backup. So I normally sail with another boat on this kind of a trip, but it's midweek and no one else was around available, so I'm going to head out and go this one by myself. Anyway, we'll get out there and see how it is. I've had some fun already. Still water in the boat. I came out around the headland with my reef boat. I got knocked down and got half a belly full of water. I was able to scramble over onto the centreboard and bring the boat back up. So I got a whole lot of water in. Anyway, luckily everything's in waterproof bags, so I think I'm good to continue on. There's a little bit of shock though. I can see a bit of failing. I've already got half the water out now. Anyway, we'll sail back into here. And so the breeze is still pretty fresh. So turning up maybe in about afternoon, if my sun comes out, I'll be able to drive everything out. So I'm back at Little Bay, pulled everything out of the boat, washed it all down with fresh water. I've got 2 torches that aren't working. The VHF had a dunk and she's dead. My motor's non-operational at the moment, so I'm going to take that back into the car and see if I can get that going. And then we'll take it from there to see if we can continue on or not. Well, it's 7:45. We're back in at Little Bay in Port Stephens. What a day. Got capsized, just heading out on the way to Broughton. I had a bullet of wind come over the hill just outside of Shoal Bay, which put the boat in almost like slow motion. The boat went over really slowly. I was able to scramble over onto the centreboard over the side of the boat as the boat went in and right the boat, so we didn't get too much water on board. It took me 10 minutes probably to bail it all out. So we headed back in here after assessing. The motor wasn't working. A lot of things got wet, had water right through the cabin. Anyway, we headed back in here. I managed to rinse everything out. I took the engine up to my car, took the spark plug out of it, took the carburetor off the front and sprayed a lot of WD-40 into the engine while I was pulling the cord, and that blasted out some of the salt water. Cleaned the plug up, put it back in, flushed the fuel bowl, put it all back together, and after a couple of pulls the engine started. So we took it for a run this afternoon just to get it hot and try and dry out any of the salt water that was left in it. Anyway, that seems to be working okay, so the plan is to head out tomorrow to Broughton Island. Whether I get to seal rocks now will depend what the breeze is like tomorrow. Anyway, I'm hoping to get a bit of surf in at Broughton. I brought my surfboard, and yeah, we'll just see what it's like tomorrow. Okay, it's Friday morning and we've just cleared out of Port Stephens properly this time without capsizing. The breeze is sort of a 10 knot easterly, which probably won't allow us to get to seal rocks because there's too much on the nose, too much of a headwind. Anyway, we're heading for Broughton Island, so we'll have a bit of fun out there. Hopefully get a good sail out there. Started off with a reef in again, although we probably don't need it. After yesterday's effort, I wasn't real keen to go swimming again. So anyway, it's still a little bit lumpy out here. There's quite a large swell running still. And anyway, should be hopefully a good day sailing. Really piped in now, so lucky I've got this reef in. We've only just cleared the islands off Port Stephens. It was really messy through there. It's smoothed out a little bit. We've got this sideward swell which keeps laying us over every time one goes through. Anyway, so far okay. And Broughton Island's just up there, so be a bit of a battle, but we should get there okay. It's quieting down nicely now. Sea smoothed out because we're in the lee of the island. So one more tack and we'll be there. So probably half an hour or something. Hopefully we might get a surf if we're lucky. Okay, we just made full sail for the last little run up the beach here before we tack across to the island. It's turned out a beautiful day. Nice little, what is it? Almost northeast breeze now. We're just running along the beach, almost in the couple of 100 metres off the wave line. It really is lovely now. Okay, we're anchored in at Broughton, just off the surf break at the moment, where that wave is now, but I don't know if the tide's not right or what. It's breaking right on top of the rocks at the moment, so it doesn't look like I'll be able to get in there for now. This is just a temporary anchoring setup at the moment, just like right in amongst the rocks, and if anything we'll move back down over that way to Coal Shaft Bay. I've got a friend that's up here fishing that's staying around in the other cove, Esmeralda, so I may go and meet up with him. But anyway, gonna go for a swim at least, maybe a dive. Okay, it's like 3:15 in the afternoon. Been spear fishing, didn't do any good. Saw a couple of blue grouper and a turtle, but didn't manage to spear anything. We're just motoring around past Coal Shaft Bay at the moment. There's a big bommy there, got to be careful we don't hit. We're going to go around and have a look at the northern side of the island, see what that's like for staying tonight, and make a decision from there. This poor Stephen's way back there. This is Coal Shaft Bay, which is really nice and protected at the moment. Bit of a little reef system in the middle here. And there's a couple of caves over on this middle section. Here's the north side of the island. You don't want to be here today with this nor'easter blowing. Very bouncy. Anyway, we'll head back around the Coal Shaft side again. Beautiful evening at Coal Shaft Bay, just looking back across at Nelson Bay, Port Stephens. Sun's about to go down. Just been trying to catch a fish with a lure. No luck just yet, maybe a bit later when it gets a little bit darker. Anyway, I got the whole place to myself. So it's a beautiful night, no luck with the fishing unfortunately, so I'm actually having tomorrow's brekkie for dinner because my esky is going warm. So bacon and eggs for dinner, which isn't a bad substitute, cracking and coke, and watching the sunset. So pretty enjoyable evening, not going to worry about putting up the boom tent tonight. It should be quite a dry night, so we'll just go without it and look at the stars. We'll see you tomorrow. Okay, it's Saturday morning, beautiful day. Not much breeze at the moment, but we're meant to be getting a good nor'easter this afternoon. Going to go back over to where the surf is, see if there's a wave to be had, which is out over this direction. Over here, we've just got to go around these rocks to get around to where the break is. If there's no surf to be had, we might try our luck again spearfishing. Anyway, it's a great day for it. There's plenty of boats around. Looks like we might be getting the board out this morning. There's a set out there now. That's what we're after. There's the boat back there, about 100 metres away. Anyway, let's get into it, see if we can get away with having film it. I'll show you around the underwater here what it looks like where I'm sitting. Okay, so we've been surfing for the last couple of hours. Just had a bit of lunch. Nor'east is starting to kick in, so I think we might make a move on that, get back in, come back into Port Stephens while it's still high tide, so that the entrance isn't too messy. Because with the outgoing tide against the wind, you get big overfall waves sometimes, and there is a bit of swell on, so we'll get moving. Okay, it's 12:30. Just left the island. A lovely little northeaster. So it should be a nice little run back in. Okay, we're halfway back in. It's a beautiful sail, a lot quicker than the way out. Yeah, beautiful. Hopefully the wind gets up a little bit more. So just off the harbour entrance, I'm going to have to jibe because I've got to head down there to Nelson Head. So I've gone out wide of the northern headland this time, just to keep out of the wind shadow, and also to get a better angle for a run down. I'll have to pole out the other side and follow those yachts down into the bay there. Well, we had a successful jibe, no dramas. Got a nice little sail now down into Nelson Head to finish up, back to the ramp. Oh, dolphin. Thought we had a shark there for a moment. Here's a good one. Back in Shoal Bay. Alright, here we come. Back into the Little Bay boat ramp.